baby, what do we got here? Okay.
All right, here we go. We got a brand new package here from Fish USA. I know what it is, but I can't wait to get it open. I'm beyond excited about this. Here we go. And this is what it looks like. It looks like it's packaged pretty well, so nothing's going to happen to it when it's getting shipped. Here we go. We've got the Garmin motor. The Garmin Force Current motor. Cannot wait to get this thing set up. This box has got the wires in it. Oh, I want to pull out. Get all these little boxes out of the way. Okay, that's the motor there. Let's see what we're working with. This looks like the mount right here. And then this is the motor itself. It's got a little cloth in there for some extra padding. Oh my gosh, I'm just trying to take a look at this as I don't know what that is. Better not start unscrewing things before before I know what it does. Let's pull this baby out. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe how light this is. That's crazy. There it is. That's the Garmin motor. Gonna get this thing put together, mounted on the kayak. I cannot wait to put this thing to work. All right, guys, so here it is, the Garmin Force Current motor. I don't know which way it's going to get mounted on. We already got to see this, so I am going to start unboxing everything else that came in the package. And I haven't opened anything yet. I don't know what all comes with it. So I'll be seeing this for the first time with you. So if I don't know what it is when I first open it up, that's why. This sounds like it's going to be some hardware. This is our remote in here. All right, the remote I've heard amazing things about. A lot of different buttons. But I'm excited to use the remote just because that's what I've always used when I had my, my motor guide. So that's something that I will already be used to. Let's see what else we've got in here. Not sure what that is. Some kind of plate. This is our lanyard for our remote, it looks like. Some hardware. I'm sure we'll figure out what that's for here soon. What else we got? Looks like this might be a kill switch, and not sure what all the other parts are, but some hardware in there as well. Some track mounts. So this may have something to do with the stow and deploy for the motor. Let's see. And some more hardware mixed in. So that's one box. So I'm going to toss all that back into that box that it came from. All right, next box. Oh, this is all our instructions and everything. Who needs those? Just kidding. I'll open those up in a second. This is our wiring coming through here. Oh, that's awesome. It comes all pre-wired and ready to go. That's awesome. That's going to save a lot of hassle having those on there already. That's a big cord. This thing's going to be able to handle a lot of power. Ultimately, I am going to hook this up to a 24-volt battery and get as much out of it as I possibly can. All right, next up, we got a little box. What is this? Oh, it's our man overboard tag. That's something with the Garmin motor that was really cool. So this is a man overboard tag. You fall into the water, this is going to automatically shut the motor off. So that's something that I'm excited to have after having the motor guide for so long. Something that always kind of freaked me out about it was there was no kill switch. There was no man overboard tag. If you fell out of your kayak while the XI3 was running, you were swimming back to shore because it wasn't going to stop. So I am excited to have that little added safety feature making the change over to this Garmin Force Current motor. Also in the box, we got our little floaty. We've got a clip where you can clip that tag on. Looks like we got a watch. We've also got a watch that we could use it for. That's really cool. So there's a lot of different options, a lot of different ways to to wear this switch. So you can wear it as a watch. You can just have it as a float. It looks like you can just clip it on also. So that is that's really cool that there's that many different ways to just keep yourself safe out there. All right. Moving on to our next box. What do we got in here? High efficiency propeller and mounting hardware. Here we go. Let's open this up. Okay. So there's our propeller. Get that out. 2-blade prop, or high efficiency 2-blade prop. And the hardware to get it mounted. Toss all that back right in here. And then we've also got the weedless prop. So let's open this up. Let's see the difference between the two. I'll grab the other one to compare them here in a second. So we do not have a second set of hardware for this propeller. So we just got to make it work. But there we go. That's the weedless prop. I'm going to grab the other one. All right, here we go. So this is our high efficiency prop. This is our weedless prop. You can see this one's a little bit skinnier, and I don't know how well you can see this, but it's got little cuts in the fins or in the propeller blades. So and these are flared out a little bit. So looks like the weedless prop is built to cut through some weeds a little bit better, and the high efficiency prop is going to decrease the drag. So I'm going to go with the high efficiency prop because I'm not fishing a whole bunch of water or grassy areas here in South Carolina. So hopefully I'll get a little bit more speed out of using this this prop and a little better battery life. All right, so a couple things that I did before even getting this Garmin motor. Couple things. One thing I did was I mounted the one objective stern mount for the Vibe Shearwater125 on the back of the Shearwater, and I also mounted the power pole because I was impatient and didn't want to wait to get the motor. One thing that I'm noticing right now, right away, with the Garmin motor mount, it does not line up with the one objective holes. I'm sure they're going to take care of that. But this little piece on the bottom to line the holes up, that is getting onto the mount. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drill a couple holes to basically pull the mount off of the stern just a little bit more. And that's how I will ultimately be able to mount this onto the kayak. This goes. All right, so I've got the power pole off and most of the one objective mount taken off. I can't completely take it off because I won't be able to get to this screw right here on the one objective mount once I mount the motor mount on the kayak. So I've got to keep that screw in, but that's going to be plenty for me to get underneath here and tighten down all the nuts and bolts here. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. I already got this one here started. That was pretty easy. Get this one started next. Yeah, this is much easier. I'm able to just slide this off to the side and there we go. I'm not going to lock them down completely yet. Looking pretty good. All right, now we got our mount on there. We're gonna get the one objective mount stuck back on here. All right, we got the power pole base back on. Let's get this power pole mounted back on here. Here we go. Plugged in and turned on. Good to go there. All right, so we got the power pole plug back on. We got the one objective mount on. The motor mount is on nice and tight. And next up, we are going to try to see how to get this motor mounted on there. All right, so our next step is going to be getting the motor actually mounted onto the mount. So what we're going to do, I don't even have the prop on yet. We're going to unscrew these little knobs right here, and they're going to rest right in these little holes or divots. You've got to turn it a little bit to get it to set in there, and then we're going to tighten these down, and you'll see they kind of wrap around. I'll see if I can change the angle here. You can see right here they're going to overlap with the motor right there, and that's what is going to keep that motor in place. We're going to come over onto the other side and do the same thing. Tighten that one down. Feel it click into place. There we go. We've got a motor on there. We just got to get a propeller on it and figure out what else we're missing. All right, so our next step is going to be to install the cotter pin. It's going to help make sure that the motor stays in place. It's going to be right under here. We've got this pin, and I'm going to start by putting in this furthest one back. And just from looking at it, that's kind of what so this would be kind of, let's see, where it would be if it was in the first one, the second one, and there's the third one. So as you can see, that locks it into place. Pull that up here. I think that third one is going to be the best spot for it. So we're just going to work on feeding this through. There we go. Pin set. And that's how it's going to work. So it's up. Locked into place. And that looks like a good spot to me. All right, so our next step is going to be to set up the line that pulls the motor up. So what's really cool about this is the Vibe Shearwater has got the rudder pull right here. So I'm just going to feed this cable or this cord straight through that line. So I'll have it spit out on the right-hand side. But before I feed it through, I am going to get this set up. It's going over. It's coming underneath right here. I'm going to look at the instructions. All right, and then we are going to feed it through. I'll just leave that set up, but we're going to feed it through right here. There's a little hole right here, which I'll get a close-up in a second. There's a hole. We're going to pull it the rest of the way through and just tie a knot here at the bottom. Let's see if that was big enough. Perfect. So what's going to happen, as you can see, this motor's stuck in place. We're going to pull it. It lifts up this little lever, which unlocks this pin, giving you the ability to pull it up and stow it. And now, all I'm going to do is find the end of it. And the way this lines up is just absolutely perfect. There's a little hole right here. I'm just going to feed this straight through until it starts coming out the other end.
Seems like you're doing so much more. Just gotta go slow. Let's see how it.
But I'm going to bring it up here. So this is the hole. I'm just feeding this cable through right here. It should be hopefully pushing it through to the other end. Let's see, I'm going to check real quick. And there it comes. So bring this over here. So we've got the cable coming through right here. And now what I'm going to do is pull it the rest of the way through here. And this is a clam cleat. That's what it's called. That's going to lock it in place. So that way the motor's not going to go anywhere while I've got it stowed. I'll probably end up pulling a little bit more through. Oh yeah, there's a lot of line left. So we're going to pull that the rest of the way through. So here we go. You're going to see the first stow of the motor. Let's see how well this works. Oh, it might be a little heavy. All right, looks like this may not work like I was hoping it would. Oh, that's why it's wrapped around. Okay, maybe it'll be a little bit better. All right, that was all tangled. Now let's try it again. Still pretty heavy, but looks like it's good. So there we go. That's the stowed position. Pop it out, let it deploy, and it should be locked in place now. It is, it's not going anywhere. And then we can stow it again, pulling this up, and that's it. Next, we are going to put the handle on this cable, on this cord that we ran through the hull. We are going to put the handle facing down because when we pull it, we're going to pull from this way and pull upwards. So I've got the motor down, so I know this is as much line as I'm going to need. And from there, we're going to take this piece and feed it through here also. Make sure I keep you in the screen. Feed that through. And what we're going to do is we're going to tie a knot on this end. It's going to lock it in place, and this will clip down over top of it. Let's see, we'll go like right there. All right, and before we finalize that knot, we'll come here, pull the motor up. There we go. That's even still a little bit more than we need, so pop this back off. Tie another knot a little higher up. There we go. Now we're just going to kind of tie a couple knots here, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Go, and we'll do one more just for fun. There we go. All right, so we got that. I'm going to grab my pliers. So give that a little trim. Just for my own peace of mind. So now we've got that kind of tucked into this little slot that it goes in, and this handle is just going to come straight down over top of it and kind of like snap into place. There we go. Now we got our handle. And on the Vibe, we've got this nice little clip right there also where we're going to be able to hang that when we're not using it. A little bit more line than I'd like, but that's what we're going to go with. All right, so the next thing we're going to install is the skeg. I think this is pretty cool that it's replaceable. It comes with all the tools that you need. This is just going to slide on right there, it looks like. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Looks like you got to kind of, oh yeah, there's a little lip right here. So you got to go from the bottom up. So that's going to pop off. But if you try to go from the top down, it won't fit. So I'm going to get the rest of this stuff out real quick before I try to place it. I'll be clumsy. Oh, yeah, there we go. Getting that screwed on nice and easy. And there's nothing that goes on the other side. It's just right there. My guess it's here so that you can break it off if you do run aground. Could be wrong, but kind of makes sense to me. There you go, tighten that down. And it's all set. There we go. Down tight. All right, we are moving on to putting the prop on. So like I talked about, I'm going to go with it came with 2 propellers. I'm using the high efficiency propeller. This might take me a second. I'm going to try to follow these instructions while I mount this. We got 1. We got to get this pin through right here. Got that. And then the propeller. There we go. That's on all the way. And now we go with 2. We're going with this piece next. And then 3 is going to be that washer. 4 is going to be the locking washer. And then 5 is just this nut. Ooh, it's sharp. There we go. That ought to do it. All right. So what I ended up just doing is I've got this wired to an old battery. I'm not going to keep it here, so it's super ugly. Don't read into it. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to plug this in here and see if we can just get some power going. There we go. Oh, I heard a beep. All right, we got lights on. Oh, there we go. Right here. We've got power. All right, well, now that we got power going to the motor, I'm going to make sure that, that this remote's working. Ooh, I wonder if it's got batteries in it. I don't even know what all these buttons do. Okay, I'm going to have to do some playing around with this. Let's see. All right, no batteries. Got to go find some double A's. All right, we got the remote. Got batteries. It's turning on. Let's see. It says not connected. Oh, nope. Now it says stowed. If I hit this button, what happens? Nothing. All right, so this is the first time I've turned the remote on. Let's see. I'm going to deploy the motor. There we go. It is locked in position. And now it says manual. So if I go man overboard tag not connected. Wow, so it won't even let you get anything going without the man overboard tag, it looks like. Oh, enter override mode. Yes. I don't know how to select it. Entered override mode. Not what I plan on doing, but for testing it in the garage, let's see what happens. It tells you what level speed the prop's at. I'll let you. There it goes. We're moving. There we go. All right, max speed. Can't even see the propeller anymore. That's wild. All right, so how do I just... All right, hitting that button turns on and turns off the motor. Looks like this is our spot lock. Trolling motor compass not calibrated. Looks like that's something we got to do later. God, this is crazy. There's a lot of buttons on this remote. I'm going to have to figure out what exactly they all do. And I don't know what that button did. Well, I'll tell you one thing's for sure. I got to figure out how to calibrate the trolling motor tomorrow. Compass not calibrated. It's like a waypoint button, spot lock button. I'm going to have to play around with this and get it figured out. But, man, this is waypoints, routes, tracks. Wow. Waypoints. What is... That is crazy. This is a pretty wild remote. I got to be honest. Settings. Let's see. Trolling motor. Wi-Fi. Calibrate. That's what we're going to have to do tomorrow. Okay. Well, I think we've done as much as we can do for today. And we just got to get ready to take this thing out on the water tomorrow and start playing around with it a little bit. All right. So the last thing I want to do before taking this thing out tomorrow, I want to start getting it cleaned up a little bit, so that it's not just a mess when I'm out on the water. So I'm going to start by moving this battery. Let's undo this. All this trash we're just going to put over here for now. Don't need this. Drop this down. Let's see if this has got the range to do what I want to do. It does. All right, so that is awesome. I'm going to put this all into a battery box. Let's get this loaded up into here. Uh-oh. And just run this right. Oh, God. So much stuff everywhere. All right. My goal is to run this right along the divots, and I think it should be able to run right below the black pack pretty easily. Let's see. Get this plugged back in. So that is plugged in. And let's see what we can do with this black pack. There we go. That's a perfect fit. Let's see if this lid's going to fit on here. I'm not sure if it will or not, but we're going to try. And there we go. This is eventually what the setup is going to look like, and I'm really, really happy with it. Let's see, motor's still powered on. And the last thing to try out is, can we stow the motor? I don't know why we wouldn't be able to, but we're going to try it anyways. Boom. Battery's all set up. I'm very excited with this finally. We'll bump it back up to 20. And let's say we just saw And this thing's handling these waves. I'm glad we just went through those. Like, staying on the same course. Like, you can see I'm not zigzagging through the water. This is amazing.